Hey everyone, you're with Tom. Thanks for joining us today on Ludicrous Feed. I am very excited to bring you a very special episode today. Joy and I have been invited to the Polestar Meet and Greet media event here in Sydney. We're off to the Double Bay Intercontinental Hotel, so a pretty fancy hotel there. And little old me has been invited to a media event with a bunch of other legitimate journalists. But here we are with our very humble YouTube channel, and very grateful to Polestar Australia for this very exciting event that we've been invited to. So the itinerary today is we're going to do 2 test drives today. One is the single motor Polestar 2. The second one will be the performance Polestar 2. So it will give us a good chance to compare the 2 vehicles. That'll be followed by an interview with the Managing Director of Polestar Australia, Samantha Johnson. Looking forward to that interview. And then followed by lunch at the hotel restaurant. So a jam-packed morning for us to look forward to and to bring you as well here on Ludicrous Feed.
Destination is on the right.
So here we are at the Double Bay Intercontinental Hotel on the right. And Polestar have assured me that we get valet parking. So let's see whether they are expecting us. Pretty fancy, huh? Let's see. I can see a couple of Polestars here on the left. They must be the cars we get to try today. Okay, let's put on the valet mode. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. All right, everyone, this is Matt from Polestar. Matt's going to show us around the car, so go ahead, Matt, thank you.
Perfect, thank you guys. So what we'll do, we're going to pop over, we're going to have a look at our lovely long-range single motor here in Void. We've got our 19-inch 5 V-spoke wheels going. So the first thing we want to have a look at is our beautiful seamless wing mirrors here. As you can see, typical mirrors will have your styling packs and the glass itself will move, whereas we have an integrated seamless style here, nice and sleek, nice and smooth. We've got our keyless entry here, nice and simple. So our keys are in my pocket. I can place my hand through the door and we'll see the door will open. We've also got keyless exit, so we can single touch and the vehicle will close.
Nice.
Before we move to the inside, we'll just give you a quick little styling feature that we can see on the rear of our lights. These are our welcome sequencing lights. So when we unlock the vehicle, you can see a lovely little halo that flashes around the rear. Beautiful. Lights are great in the night time, particularly with our Void colour.
Yeah, it's very inviting, isn't it?
It is. The other thing we like to note on our Polestars is our colour matched logos here. So our chevron will always be body coloured, whether it be the Void, the Midnight, magnesium, whatever colours we've got going on. Cool. We can also see our reverse sensors along the bottom of the vehicle. A couple of little points that we can note: easy identifications for what our packs are. So we do have 3 various packs. We've got the Pilot Pack, the Plus Pack and Performance Pack. So our Pilot Pack is all extra included safety features such as blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, lane departure warnings. We'll talk you through how you can easily identify those by looking at the vehicle.
Yeah, that's great.
So if we look around, we do have our Plus Pack panoramic roof.
Nice.
Another indication of our Plus Pack is the vehicle. When we get inside, we'll have a look, but it is equipped with full Harman Kardon speakers as well. 2 easy visual cues. The Pilot Pack itself, we'll see on our mirrors here, you'll see a little chevron indicator light here for our blind spot monitoring. Very, very subtle cue. The other subtle cue that we can look for is in the front of our bar. We'll see we've got front parking sensors as well as radar cruise.
So this one here is parking sensor.
Parking sensors, and we will have 360 surround cameras.
Okay. Cool. So that's an indication of the Pilot Pack if you've got that.
Correct. Correct. So what we'll do, we'll pop inside and we'll have a look at a beautiful interior with our Napa leather that we have here, which is also optioned up on the car.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Hop in.
So inside the beautiful car, we can see some very minimalistic styling that we've got going on. Very Swedish. Everything's recycled. Very, very eco-friendly, maple leather, wood grains, recycled plastics up the top. And the first thing that we'll note when we get in the vehicle is our wonderful infotainment screen. Android Automotive. It is a full connected vehicle, so we can see at the top we have our LTE connection, which is 4G, built-in Google Maps, Bluetooth devices. It does have Google Assistance, so we can say simple things like, "Hey Google, play the radio."
Okay, here you go.
Nice.
The radio will play.
Nice.
We can use it for navigating.
Perfect.
Pop that one off for now.
Yes.
We can use it for navigating home, navigating to different locations. Part of the Google system, we do operate Google Maps, which is perfectly integrated. We pick up on live traffic routes, so we can understand the congestion. The other options we do have with this, for example, if we wanted to input a destination to Queensland, the vehicle will register, "I'm not going to have enough charge to make it to Queensland," therefore it's going to recommend charging points along the way. You'll note that each charging point will never have, get through all these settings, each charging point will never have a full charge cycle through it. That's to optimise your driving capacity and get you to the location as quickly as possible. We can see down the bottom, we can see the congestion already on the roads, and that's picked up through other users using their phone for Google Maps and things like that.
I love the fact it's got Google Maps. It's like one of the top navigation mapping systems in the world. Why wouldn't you use it? So
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And the other benefit is a lot of people with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, they do use Google Maps already, and it's an interface, whereas this is already built in.
Yeah, people are familiar with it. Absolutely.
Correct. What else we've got within the vehicle systems is our charging capability and our vehicle settings. So currently this vehicle is set with a light steering feel. You can adjust it firmer if you want to have more impact, put it on a racetrack. We do have a sport mode. This won't turn off traction control completely. The cars will protect themselves. We've also got one pedal drive. People who are new to EVs, this does take some getting used to. You can have this off completely, low and standard.
Yeah.
Have a play, see how you go. We do understand that people who are used to using the brake pedal a lot will get a bit confused. It does come pretty naturally after a while.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got creep mode as well, and I'm not calling myself a creep here. This is when you pull up at a set of traffic lights, place your foot on the brake pedal. With creep mode off, if you take your foot off the brake pedal, the car will remain stationary until you actually interact with the accelerator pedal.
Okay.
Creep mode on, take your foot off the brake pedal, and it will roll forward like a normal vehicle.
Okay, so just basically people who like the feel of a petrol or diesel car, where you creep forward or roll forward on a traffic light.
Yeah, correct.
That's what it's good for.
And that's what it's good for. The benefit of having your one pedal drive and your creep mode is the regenerative braking and maximising your range. You're going to minimise the maintenance on your vehicle as well, because you won't be using that brake pedal all the time, but you will maximise that range. We do have our assist options. So you've got your driver support, adaptive cruise control, or standard cruise control, or a speed limiter. This can also be selected through the steering wheel switches.
Okay.
We've got driver alert, lane keep assist, road sign information. Now this is really, really good technology in this vehicle. It will pick up school zones, it will pick up variable speed limits. So if you go through with the red flashing speed signs that go from 80 to 60, it will register that as well.
Okay.
Collision avoidance and ready to drive notification. So I like to explain the ready to drive notification for those people that are on their mobile phone at traffic lights when they shouldn't be. The vehicle in front drives off, the vehicle registers this, and it will give you an audible and visual tone.
Right. Now all this is all part of the pilot pack, isn't it?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
So standard vehicles will have cruise control, speed limiter.
Okay.
The pilot pack will have the adaptive cruise control with radar sensing. We can set the distance we wish to follow in front of the car, and then again, if we have ready to drive notification, it's just another visual cue for us to continue. From here we can move to our charge. Another brilliant thing about our charging system is we can set the limit of where we want the vehicle to charge to. If I want a quick charge or I don't want to replenish it so far, I can set it at 60%. If I want to have a full charge because I know I'm going on a long weekend, I can have it at 100%.
Yep.
Polestar does recommend 90%. Like many other battery manufacturers, we want to prevent overcharging and supercharging.
And prolong the lifetime of the battery as well.
Correct.
Yep. I like the graphic, it's quite nice actually.
It is. The other thing we've got is our amperage down the bottom. So our standard at-home 2.3 kilowatt charger will only draw 10 amps. So we would adjust our amperage setting down to 10 amps.
Does this automatically adjust?
It won't automatically adjust, however the vehicle will protect itself.
Good.
And so if you're using your home charge cable, it's only going to draw that 10 amps.
Okay.
It does have a controller box in that cable as well.
I see.
If you use your Type 2 to Type 2 many keys, 7 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt or 22 kilowatt, it will again only maximise to 16 amps.
I see.
So we use 32 amps for our DC-DC fast charging.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We do have scheduled timing as well. This is a brilliant feature. If you have an electricity provider or a provider that will give you peak and off-peak rates, the idea is I want to maximise my off-peak, so I'll set my time charging from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah. I've got to say, this is brilliant. Having this off and on times, I think a lot of my viewers will appreciate this.
Correct. And you can set it daily or you can set it however you wish. The functionality is also available in the app as well.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'll just turn that one off for now. So that's our basic setup of the vehicle and our charging. Naturally, we can go through and we can play with all our settings. Do we want my mirrors to dip in reverse? Do I just want the driver, the passenger, or both? Do we want to fold the mirrors? Exterior lighting's locking, so 2-stage, 1-stage unlocking, and then our car status as well. So no warnings, all is good, and it's very good to see on a vehicle. So we can also see our service intervals here. So the next service for this vehicle is in 557 days or nearly 25,000 kilometres.
What's the servicing schedule with Polestar 2?
Servicing schedule is 2 years or 30,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. Part of the purchase of the vehicle, you do get a 5-year service contract. So it's 5 years, 100,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. Most customers will get 2.5 to 3 services out of that.
Okay. Complimentary?
Complimentary with
Brilliant.
the vehicle.
Okay.
So that comes with our 5-year roadside assistance and 5-year factory warranty, unlimited kilometres.
Okay. Good.
So for the first 5 years of the vehicle, you have no out-of-pocket expenses, bar your charging and wear and tear items such as brakes and tyres. Using the one-pedal drive, I highly doubt you might get through your brake pads, but if you're like myself, I've got a very heavy foot, so I might use some brake pads a bit more than others.
Yep.
So that's our quick settings and our systems. We've got our online manual down the bottom here. So our owner's manual is at the touch of a button. If we want to understand how we can work with protect our interior, we can cycle through. We've got some touch buttons. So what does my left steering wheel switches do? And it will tell me this is my driver support system.
Right.
I can read more and understand how I can cycle between my speed limiter, my cruise control, my adaptive cruise control with driver monitoring and awareness.
I like that. That's very intuitive. You can graphically see where, or if you're not sure about something, that's exactly where you need to go, as opposed to having to read through text.
Correct.
That's good.
Correct. So, easy way to jump back to our home screen is we've got our white button down the bottom, and away we go. This is going to tell us that because we've removed all the profiles from the vehicles, just for today as people will be in and out, this will tell us we can also download offline Google Maps.
Okay.
So should you go into a country area where you might not have cellular connection, you'll still have functionality of your maps.
Okay, brilliant.
One of the key features of Polestar is our profiles. So we will note that within our keys, we have our key fob, we have our surf key, and we can also use our mobile phone as a digital key. So technically, we have 3 keys available for the vehicle, and each key can be set to a different profile.
I see.
So For example, if you were to be using this key fob, we would set your seating position, we would set your driver dynamics, the one pedal drive, the creep, any other radio stations and settings that you may have. We would connect that to your profile. I would then remove this key from the car. I would use the surf key. I would connect it to my profile and I would set all my settings how I would like them. So what would happen is whoever was to unlock the vehicle from the driver's side or by the remote fob, that profile will activate. All your settings will be activated, your seating position will go to where you need it, and the only adjustment you should really need to do is perhaps your rear vision mirror
that's manual.
and your steering wheel, which is also manual.
So I guess the idea of having a fob attached to your profile is that you can bring it to another Polestar and your profile will be in the car?
No, the way the security works is it will only work for this Polestar.
For this car, okay.
Yeah. So the key security will be locked to the vehicle, same as the surf key and your digital key as well.
Okay.
So the idea is if you've got 3 drivers, rather than have to get in the vehicle, play with all your settings, set all your mirrors and your seating, you just have to unlock the car and you can drive off straight away.
Okay, I see what you mean. Is there any plans to make it software, like have your profile stuck on the screen rather than having to carry a physical key?
Well, that's the benefit of the digital key. Provided you have your phone on you and it's paired to the Bluetooth, you can just walk straight up to the vehicle, jump in, and away you go.
Okay, that makes it easy.
Yeah. Right, moving on. It's almost time for the fun part of the day.
Excellent.
Keen viewers will note we don't have a physical start button in this vehicle. The way our vehicle interacts is there is a sensor that's within the seat. So provided you have one of the 3 keys, one of these 2 or the digital key, as soon as you sit in the seat, it registers we have a driver and we're ready to interact with the vehicle. From there, we'll obviously secure ourselves with the seat belt, place our foot on the brake pedal and select a gear, and we are ready to drive off.
Okay.
It's a bit tricky, takes a bit of getting used to, because a lot of people are used to a physical button or a turn key. We've taken that extra step further.
Yep.
We'll also note that when we pull up, we'll press our park button, the vehicle will secure itself, the automatic park brake will apply. All we do is we just open the driver's door, get out, and everything will power down.
Okay. Nice. I think that's the way of the future with EVs. Just 4
is.
buttons, or 4 settings rather.
It is. I mean, minimalistic is the way to go. We want to remove the complexity, but have it as functional as possible for our consumers.
Yep.
So,
Makes sense.
I believe that's it for a quick walk around. I'll let you go, enjoy your day.
Okay.
And we'll see you very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. All right, let's head off. Might reverse first. Reversing cameras right there. It's quite nice. I guess you can change the camera angle, see how far you are from the car. Wow, it's tight, isn't it? And scroll down. These spots are tight. Okay, scoot out of the Double Bay Intercontinental Hotel. Doors auto-locked, nice. And yeah, I guess what we'll do is left-hand indicate. Yes, left-hand indicate, correct. What we'll do is go for, a drive around the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Just around the streets. I guess the regen is off. I think he turned it off during the walkthrough, so I'll see whether I can do it mid-drive. Whether I can change that mid-drive. Let's see, put the creep off, make it standard. Yes, I can, good. Yeah, I do like that harsh regen. Prefer that definitely. Okay, let's turn left. Again, let's put it back on map. Drive maybe up towards Bondi and then back. That should be a good enough drive. Hear that tick-tock sound of the indicator there. So this car is actually a bit more kitted out than the one I had in Chatswood. I think that was a single motor car as well, as is this one, but this clearly has a few more features. Like it's got the Napa seats, it's got the wood grain finish, which is quite lovely, very plush. And it's good that Matt went through the ways to pick whether a car has the Plus and the Pilot. That's a nice clue. It's hard to tell as a person new to the brand whether it's got those things, but as you saw earlier, there's a couple of things you can work out whether it's got those features. Okay, so I might just go left here. Now, I'm going to have to work out how to put the wipers on because they're not automatic at the moment. I think it's probably here. Here we go. I can at least flick it down once. Okay, here we go. So flick up to have it on intermittent. You can adjust how intermittent you want it. Okay, so far so good. Look, I don't mind the rain actually when we're doing a test drive because you do want to stress the car a little bit with the road conditions. I mean, any car can take a bright and sunny day, but when it's raining, that's when you separate the great cars from the good cars. And this is I guess it's a hatchback, and it's a bit higher off the ground than a normal sedan, and certainly from the cars that we've got at home. But so we can certainly feel it. It's certainly elevated compared to what we've got, and I can feel that regen braking straight away. I love regen braking. I'll always have it on the highest setting, whatever EV I test drive, because even if you're not used to it, you can gauge eventually, as Matt was saying in the walkthrough. Over time, you'll know how far to let go of your foot from the traffic light, and then even if you are too far away, you can just adjust with your accelerator a little bit closer. So that saves wear and tear on your brake pedals. And not too bad off the mark. And not too much road noise. Quite a nice smooth drive. Rounds the corners pretty well. Good traction in the wet. Nice scenery on our left there with the marina. So yeah, the regen braking does feel harsh, which is good. Like I said before, it's good. Just got to get used to it. So just sort of titrate how much my foot comes off the accelerator as I'm getting used to this car. Like even though I drive an EV regularly, each EV's level of regen is different as well. They're not all built the same. Now, I'd like to see on the map where I am. I'm assuming there is some sort of recenter tool, because at the moment it's just sort of static, so I don't really know where I am. I'm just hoping we can find that. There we go. I think that might be it, that recenter tool there. So just tap the screen once and it recenters. Let's see how responsive it is. Let's see how good the voice activation is. Okay, Google. Navigate to Bondi Beach.
Navigating to Bondi Beach.
Oops. Should have turned right there. Let's see. Okay. So it's telling me to go this way
In
now.
600 meters, turn right.
A bit more scenic anyway this way. Kind of reminds me of the city to surf. Up and down. Okay, so we're climbing a hill and it's doing really well actually. Very smooth ascent.
Just as a passenger, it's a really smooth ride.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. Definitely a premium EV, just all things considered, from the interior, just the car in general and the driving experience. It's really good. Again, up this hill, this is beautiful. Just a very smooth acceleration.
Turn right, then turn left.
And I do apologise, I'm not overly familiar with this area. We do live on the north side, but thanks to Google Maps,
Turn
shouldn't
left,
be too bad.
then turn right.
I just noticed, like, coming off that traffic light, you're
Turn
Going-
right, then turn left.
going uphill on a hill in the wet and absolutely no slippage or anything like that.
That's very true. Even though we are in a single motor vehicle,
Turn left, then turn right.
it's exceptional. Yeah, it's pretty good handling. Up up a
Turn
hill,
right.
up a hill on a curve, and now we're going downhill. So this will be a good test going downhill as well. Don't forget, this is the single motor, so it's pretty much entry level, bar the
In 200 meters, turn right.
interior that's been upgraded. But still, single motor. This is what you get with the base entry level.
Turn right.
Okay, so we might turn right here. Yes, all good. That was actually a very good test. So a bit of a blind corner, but the brakes were good.
In
Oh.
400 meters, turn right.
All right, up a hill. Tiny bit of slippage there, but it was quite wet down at the bottom there, but nothing I'm too worried about. Okay, I can see the ocean.
Turn right.
That is the Pacific Ocean, my friends. So, right, stop sign, wheels have stopped. Okay, and then we'll turn right. All right, there's the ocean there. Okay, so more downhill in the wet on a curve. This is exactly what I wanted. Good for testing, good for handling. Keeping in mind, of course, single motor. Great traction. And I'm going at pretty much the speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour. Not speeding, of course. It's handling it beautifully. Another bit of a curve here. To the final descent into Bondi Beach. Literally over this hill. Golf course there on our left. Regen braking, yeah. It is quite harsh. Gonna titrate it, definitely. Down here.
In 300 meters, turn left.
I'm so glad they use Google Maps. It's certainly, as I said before, it's what we're all familiar with, most of us anyway, whether you use Apple or Android platform, most of us are familiar with Google Maps. I am an Apple user, so this is an Android platform, so if I were to ever have this car, I'd have to get used to it. But that's not a big deal. It's, I think Android's pretty intuitive anyway. And there we are, Bondi Beach on our left. Look at that. A different
Turn left.
different aspect when it's wet, isn't it? Look at that surf, oh my goodness. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen Bondi looking like that. That much surf. Those are high waves, all right? Goodness me.
In 100 meters, at the roundabout, take the
Wow.
first exit.
Just going to park here real quick so I can show you guys the surf conditions. Goodness me, that is incredible. Right, everyone, well, that's the single motor Polestar 2. We might head back to the hotel and get into the performance car. See you real soon.
welcome back from your drive.
Thank you.
So as we mentioned, we're going to give you a quick brief walk around of our long-range dual motor. This time we have our performance pack. So a couple of key things that we can note. Vehicle's obviously snow, where you've just come out of the void vehicle sitting in front of you. We do have our 20-inch wheels, 4 Y-spoke. So that's a key indicator that we do have the performance pack.
As opposed to 5 19s.
As opposed to the 5V on the 19s.
Yep.
Or alternatively, we do have 4 V-spoke 20-inch wheels as well, which are optional. The other key differences we want to have a look at on our long-range dual with the performance is our beautiful Swedish gold brake calipers that we got here. So we've got our Brembos on there. We can also note our gold valve caps that we've got going on down the bottom.
Yep.
They are a hot ticket item, I can tell you that for sure. And the other really, really neat feature that we want to have a look is on the inside of our vehicle. If we just open this door quickly, we can also see our Swedish gold seat belts.
Yeah, I've seen it on the website, but it's great to see it in person.
Yeah. They are very, very impressive vehicles.
Yeah.
So the other key point we want to note with our performance pack, this is long range, 78 kilowatt dual motor, so 300 kilowatts. What we are shortly going to be introducing to Australia is an optional performance upgrade. So it is a software download on the vehicle. It will be conducted via over-the-air updates.
Right.
This will take the vehicle from 300 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts.
Wow, with a software update.
With a software update. And what that primarily does, it remaps the throttle.
Yep.
It takes that extra 50 kilowatts. Your 0 to 100 time will go from 4.7 down to 4.3. And the key difference you'll find, the performance will take place between that 80 kilometre to that 120 kilometre range. So it is predominantly for overtaking manoeuvres. Being an EV, I'm sure you've driven plenty of them and you'll understand that instant torque that you get on the throttle. We don't want to have that on our takeoff. It's quite severe as it is if you're straight on the throttle. So what we do, we map the higher end of the rev ranges to give you that added performance.
Okay, I see.
That is our performance upgrade, due to come out in, I'd say, within the next month.
Okay.
We're just in the process of doing some testing and validation in Australia to make sure it is all hunky-dory and works for us. But we'll have that option available through our web shop, purchased for 1,600 Australian dollars.
Wow. Okay. That's quite good value, really, if you like that performance.
It is.
Yeah.
So the download generally will happen while you're driving the vehicle. So you won't notice any performance issues, no infotainment issues. Once the download's completed and it's ready to be installed, you'll get a notification on the center display that says you have a new software update. Click install, you lock the vehicle, walk away, and by the time you come back the next morning, your software's up to date and ready to go.
Amazing. What a world we live in, huh? That's great.
Well, guys, appreciate your time and hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for your time too.
Much.
Thank you. Okay, so we are in the performance dual motor Polestar 2. So this is the bee's knees of Polestar 2. It's like, it's got the works, it's got the pilot pack, the performance pack, the plus pack, everything is here you could ever ask for in a Polestar 2. And I'll just put my seatbelt on with my gold lap sash. That's right, when in Rome, right? Feel very fancy right now. Okay, so let's get started. So literally just pop down the drive and that's it, you're away. It's that easy to drive. And we'll just watch out for drivers here. Indicator. Okay, he wants me to go. Okay, so performance dual motor. This is going to be fun. I've been looking forward to this all day. Let's see how quickly this gets out of the blocks. Oh yeah, it's jumpy. It's good. With the rear-wheel drive, I could feel just a slight lag. This one just like straight off the bat, acceleration-wise. Even that small little acceleration, I could feel it straight away. So I'm looking forward to actually testing it, getting out of the blocks on the real road. Just double check that we've got regen braking settings all on max, standard, creep off, perfect. That's the way I like it. And yeah, what we'll do is we'll just go on to William Street and probably drive into this little bit here, do a little turn there and come back, just a quick drive. And you know, for those of you wanting me to drive this for longer, Polestar 2 have actually promised me a longer term loan. So I've got a loan for about 7 days later this year. So make sure you stay subscribed, and when I have that longer loan, we will go through things like charging, go for a longer drive, maybe go for a day trip somewhere. So yeah, stay tuned. Did you hear that little beep there? Like, that means it's a driver notification telling me that I am not moving when the green light is going, or when the car ahead is moving. Let's race this Lamborghini, hey? No, just kidding, of course not. I wonder what the difference would be. I have to look up the stats between that car and this car. Can't be much different, surely, from 0 to 100 k's. I'm just adjusting the wipers here. So how intermittent you want it. I've got it on regular, but it's intermittent there. And the indicators are here on the left. I'll just grab the camera for 1 second. I'll show everyone what it looks like there in front of me. So that is the dash console. Just sits nicely in the steering wheel there. So I've got my Google Maps ahead of me there. I can see exactly what's going on. That's the rest of the wheel. Again, I'll do a more detailed look around when we have the actual car. There's the side there. Econ vents. And handing back to Joy right there. Okay, green light, finally. Yeah, good to go. Okay. Yep, we're definitely in Sydney. Beep, beep. Oh, that's quick. Okay, we're going to swing left here. Just into a bit of a quieter area, which can be hard to find in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. It's generally quite a busy area. But this will be a good test here. I'll just give the cars ahead a bit of room, and I'm just going to floor it a little bit up this hill, see how well it goes. Thanks. Wow, okay. Like, I didn't really floor it that time, and it still went pretty quick, so that is very impressive. And that was up a hill, by the way. So yeah, really good. There's definitely a difference between this car, just even with that short acceleration. You can definitely appreciate now doing that back-to-back drive between a single motor versus a dual motor performance. Like, you really don't appreciate it until you are lucky enough, like me, to be able to experience both back-to-back. And yeah, there's definitely a difference. So if you love your speed, if you love that instant torque, and obviously you've got that extra cash to splurge on it, then you know, go the performance. You'll definitely notice it straight away. Not to say that the single motor is not fast. Trust me, it's still plenty fast enough for city roads, but wow, that was something else, huh? Look at some of these houses. Aren't they incredible? It's just amazing, isn't it? Look at this one on the right. It's just amazing. Cut into the stone there. Wow. That is all sandstone, that wall. Fascinating. Tourist in my own city. Beautiful houses. And yeah, I definitely feel the part today driving this beautiful car around. Fit right in. I would say, you know, just my own opinion, I think the Polestar 2 fits very much in the luxury kind of premium bracket where, you know, in amongst all the current cars in Australia, it's definitely in the premium end. The finishings are fantastic. The drive quality is just beautiful. You know, just feel the road in this car. It's just great. Really good. They really brought a great product to market. And it's EV. It's electric. So you couldn't ask for more, really. Alright, just going down this hill. I might just see. I'm just going to let go of my accelerator. How's the regen braking? Does it come to a dead stop? Yeah, it sure does. It's pretty good. And that's holding as well. So very impressive.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I noticed the that heel hold kick in as well.
Very impressive. Got a bit more time. I might just turn left here, just for a bit of a longer drive on a straight road. Since we've done the curve handling already, let's just go on a more of a Straighter road. Can you kick out of a curve? Yes, you can. Beautiful. What do you guys think of the tick-tock of the indicator? Leave your thoughts below. Certainly different. So we're on New South Head Road at the moment, one of the major roads in the east. Joy, thoughts on passenger comfort, road noise, bumps on the road?
Okay, so just talking from the point of view of being the camera holder, usually, I can say that this is a very, very smooth ride. Obviously, I'm used to having to hold the camera, and I notice I'm not having to make as many of the sort of like little micro adjustments as maybe I sometimes do. So considering how many potholes there are currently on the roads in Sydney, it's incredibly smooth. A really comfortable ride.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll have to get the kids' opinion as well when we do get them in this car later this year with our longer drive, longer loan. So from what I can see, it looks pretty roomy back there. And look at the petrol price there, right? $2 a litre for E10, up to $2.20 something for premium. So, if you're watching this when you drive a petrol car at the moment, I think that's certainly a strong consideration to moving to something like Polestar or, an electric vehicle in general. Just, I don't think those prices are going to drop too much anytime soon, naturally anyway. Okay, so we might navigate back to the hotel. So let's use the voice activation. Okay, Google, navigate to Hotel Intercontinental, Double Bay.
There's a Intercontinental Sydney Double Bay, an IHG hotel 2.4 kilometres away. Navigate to that one.
Yes, please.
Alright, Intercontinental Sydney Double Bay, an IHG hotel 2.4 kilometres away.
Sure, that's very informative. It took too long between the word hotel and Double Bay, so... but still, it sort of gave me the option to go there, which is nice. And that's exactly where I want to go, which is cool. So let's see, I'll go straight here. So I'll just show you on the screen here. So look, I just love the fact that it's using Google Maps. It's just the most intuitive platform, I think, personally. So all the information you need is here. Obviously the nav, turn by turn. Pictures are very clear. And then we've got 10 minutes left to get back to the hotel in the next 4.5 kilometers. We'll get back at 12:55 with 79% range left on the battery. So that's great. All that information is very important for electric vehicles, especially that battery range. Very handy. Okay. Beautiful acceleration out of the curve on the wet upper hill. Can't ask for more than that in the city. No slippage, good traction, as you'd expect with all-wheel drive. And the steering is very responsive, as you'd want it to be in such a tight area like the east in Sydney. Lots of very tight roads, have to maneuver pretty quickly between cars, react quickly. And this is where acceleration is really handy, like not just for people who love speed, but just to get you out of trouble like this. Like, it's a fairly difficult corner. Blind, a little bit blind, and it's not too bad now with less traffic, but when it's busy, you need that acceleration to get out of the blocks quickly. That's where EVs are really handy with that instantaneous torque.
have to say with the rain pouring, well, not pouring down, but with the slightly heavier rain, it may not come through on the camera, but it is a very cozy feel in the car.
Yeah, very comfortable. You almost don't mind watching the rain from here. Correct?
I don't know whether soundproof's the right word, but there's the insulation, I guess, the sound insulation in this car is excellent.
Yeah, I mean that's an issue with EVs. You know, obviously you don't have the engine noise. You're actually hearing a lot more of the tire noise from the road in some EVs. But I guess the next evolution of EVs is to work out ways to dampen that tire road noise coming through to the cabin. I think Polestar has achieved that with this car. I hope you're all enjoying this scenery just driving through the east. I certainly am, driving this car, enjoying the feel of it, but also enjoying the landscape, all the beautiful houses. Yeah, so you know, I think if you get a chance, if you have an experience centre pop up near your neck of the woods, certainly get out there and do a test drive. You'll be very impressed with this car, as I was the first time we got into it, and then again now, being given the opportunity to drive this performance vehicle. It's just, it's a good car. It's luxurious, performs well, European styling, built beautifully. Yeah, it's just top marks to Polestar. And we're so lucky to have this offering here in Australia as well, at this very exciting time. All right, hopping in. Wow, very fancy. Wow. This is exciting, huh? I guess they're undergoing a bit of renovation at the moment. All right, let's go level 1. All right, so joining us today is Samantha Johnson, Managing Director of Polestar Australia. Hi, Sam. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for inviting me to today's Polestar meet and greet here in Sydney at the beautiful Hotel Intercontinental on Double Bay. Really appreciate that. And also congratulations on recently delivering the very first Polestar 2s in Australia to the very first customers here. What was their reaction?
Oh, they're so happy to be in our cars. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of these people who have come into Polestar early have been watching us for a while, really understand our cars, and really the sustainability message that we, everything that we're doing in that space, they really believe in all of that, and they're just so happy to be picking up their cars.
Yeah.
And it's been really great to be able to, we've spent so much time building up everything to be able to deliver cars to customers. So it's great to see them out there driving on the roads now, and really happy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I've seen some of the pictures on social media and they do look very happy, and it's good to see Polestar finally in Australia, so congratulations on that. I guess for people who are new to the Polestar brand, what does Polestar actually mean?
Well, Polestar, we're a very different brand to others out there in the market at the moment, and I think we are doing so much towards sustainability. With our life cycle assessment report, where we measure the emissions through the lifetime of the product, and we say, okay, well, this is where we are now, and it's we need to do a lot more. And as an industry, we provide the methodology for that life cycle assessment report to others in the industry and say that as an industry, we need to do more, and for every product that we bring out from here, we'll have more sustainability built in, with a moonshot goal of having a zero emissions car by 2030. So that is a really strong part of who we are as a brand. And we also have the design of the vehicle, every single component of the vehicle, everything in the exterior, the interior, the sustainability is built into the design, the technology, the infotainment systems, the performance, the safety. There is so much that's built into the car. And so the design of the vehicle, the way it looks at performance, and all the other things, there's quite a lot there as a brand. But it's a very the technology. Making sure that we're always moving ahead, always thinking of how we can do things better, innovating. That's really important for us as a brand.
Yeah, no, it's really good to hear the Polestar has certainly thought of everything about the brand, not just the car itself. It's a whole picture for sure. I just want to talk a bit about the demand about EVs in Australia. I mean, what's been the reaction and feedback from your market research of EVs in general in Australia so far?
Well, I think it's taken a long time to build. When we were first planning Polestar in Australia, it was very much at the infancy stage with charging infrastructure and also consumer awareness of EVs, and also what does it mean to be driving an EV? But I think over this last year or two, there's been quite a lot of momentum. The governments are looking, they're now funding infrastructure for charging, and also we have some more incentives, statewide incentives that have been put in place to help drive that interest towards EVs. And I think overall, everyone is talking a lot more seriously about sustainability and the need to make change. And there really is such a shift in the last year globally and in Australia to take that a lot more seriously. So I think everything that we've been doing as a brand in educating people about building our brand in Australia, that's really our brand awareness has really built up very fast in a short amount of time, and with petrol prices being so high as well. I mean, I think everyone is realising that the momentum is really taking off for EVs. They are coming to Australia. The charging infrastructure is coming. The incentives are there and will keep improving. And it's time to get into an EV. So we really see that growth for EVs being exponential over the next few years.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've done this YouTube channel for the last 4 years, and I could certainly feel that as well. The mood has definitely changed in the last year or so I agree. I mean, the demand for EVs certainly is strong in Australia, from what I can sense. I mean, how many cars does Polestar plan to bring to Australia in 2022, and does it have the capacity to ramp up right-hand drive cars to this country, in years moving forward?
Well, I think we will be disclosing our numbers through VFAX.
Okay.
But we won't talk now about, we won't disclose our numbers for the full year, but we will certainly disclose our sales each year for each month for transparency. So we're a launch brand in Australia, so we need to have priority over our supply of vehicles. So we made sure that we brought vehicles in early to have in stock, knowing how long the supply chain is for EVs in Australia. So that's what we have done, and we have stock there available now, certain configurations. But the build to order, so the orders from the factory, that's getting to capacity now because the demand has been so high. So what we originally planned to bring to Australia, the demand is just growing so fast that we ourselves will need to probably stop taking orders soon for model year 22, and then start planning for turn on orders for model year 23. But we are a launch market. We've had priority over stock, but I think one thing that is needed through all brands is to have fuel efficiency standards for Australia, where we are prioritised in a level playing field with other global markets to having EVs brought to Australia. So at the moment you have efficiency standards globally where they're taxed if their emissions go over certain limits, the manufacturers. So they're going to send their petrol and diesel engines to Australia and prioritise EVs for those other European and American markets. So what we need to do is have fuel efficiency standards here in Australia that ensure that we get the healthy long-term supply of vehicles to Australia for that are more sustainable.
Yeah, no, that's really good to hear. I mean, certainly industry is playing their part, consumers are playing their part. We want the cars. We just need to have government play their part as well.
Correct.
Moving forward.
Correct.
Look, I had a great experience in Chatswood, my local shopping centre, driving a Polestar 2. Some of our viewers might have seen that. And that's a really clever way of bringing the car to the people. And so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
In other countries I've seen, for example, Singapore recently launched their what you call Polestar Space, I believe, which is a showroom type thing. What can you tell us about where the showrooms will be coming to Australia moving forward?
Well, we have a direct-to-consumer model, so online, and that's very good for people who, just know what they want and they want to go in there and they don't need to see the car, test drive or anything, and it's just very quick and easy for them. But there are others who do want to see the car and test drive, and they want to talk to a space specialist and understand about the brand and the products in more detail. So at the moment, as you've experienced, Tom, the activations that we have in shopping centres to provide access to, the vehicle, the specialists, and to do the test drives as well. But longer term, we are planning in the very key cities where the volumes permit for us to set up a space or a destination where we'll permanently have somewhere where people can come in and they can really talk to someone, find out more, and we can help them through that sales journey as well if they want help, or they can talk to our customer care centre that's based in Australia for assistance in that customer journey.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, can you tell us where the first one will be?
It'll be announced. We certainly have plans that are being put in place at the moment, and we'll announce those once they're a little bit further down the planning path.
Okay, nice try. So let's talk a bit about branding and pricing of Polestar. Like, who exactly is Polestar aimed at in Australia? What's your target market?
Well, I think definitely early adopters, people who are well researched, and they love technology. They're very sustainable, and everything that they believe in. They really. There's a lot of people in industry, even executives who work for companies, that I must have a Polestar because. This is what I believe in, the sustainability, but I also like premium. I like, innovation, technology, and this is something that aligns to my beliefs. So we really are getting a lot of those sort of early adopters coming in, but I think we also, there's a wider audience that we appeal to as well.
Yep.
And we are definitely getting premium customers coming in, and, we get people that stop us in car parks and what have you, say, well, what is that car? I love it. Or, oh, that's a Polestar. I really love the design. And so it's very much at that level. But what we really want to be doing is bringing people over from petrol engines into electric vehicles, at all levels, so that we have a more sustainable mobility.
Yeah, that's the priority for sure. I mean, I was downstairs with the test drives, and I could already hear in the background people asking, what kind of car is that? What's that? So there's definitely interest out there. I mean, without naming your competitors, what kind of car is your next customer driving currently before they drive a Polestar? Before they buy one?
I think we're bringing people in from different brands.
Okay.
And again, people have different reasons for moving into an EV. We definitely are. Like I said before, our priority is bringing people over from petrol engines into EVs.
Yep.
But definitely, we provide another choice. I think in the past there hasn't been as much choice in EVs, especially at the level where Polestar sits. So it's a really good positioning for us to be able to really provide something for people at a lot of different levels. And and we have a future lineup that's going to be very exciting as well.
Yep, definitely. And speaking of the future, I guess we'll talk about that in a second, but let's talk a bit about charging infrastructure first in Australia, because that's always a key issue with such a big country like ours, with the range anxiety that people have before they move over to an EV. If someone buys a Polestar 2 in Australia right now, what are their options with regards to charging at home and also on the road?
Well, I think that's where you do most of your charging is at home. Even myself, it's so easy. My car is always charged up. I never have to worry about it. So that's where you do most. Or maybe at work, where you have charging infrastructure at work. And whilst it's in its infancy at the moment, they're every 2 hours, north and south on the major freeways. If you're going on holiday or travelling between the major cities, there are ultra rapid charges where you can, within anywhere between half an hour and an hour and a half, you can charge up your car sufficiently to get the next journey. So mostly at home, you can charge at work. You can use these chargers that are at different areas. Now, it's still is very early stages at the moment with charging infrastructure, but there is a lot that the federal government is doing to invest in charging infrastructure, and there's a lot more that will probably need to be invested in the future to make sure that there is more in the cities, more charging available in rural areas, and it just makes it much easier for your EV. At the moment, can be your first car. But if you're going on holiday, you want to make sure you've got that peace of mind, and you can do that quite easily now. But just having more of that infrastructure as EVs grow, there's going to be more cars out there on the road. We need to have more infrastructure to support that. Yeah,
absolutely, it's certainly one and the other. We need more cars, more charging infrastructure, and they sort of go hand in hand for sure. I mean, what projects, if any, are Polestar involved in with regards to advocating for more charging sites in Australia?
Yes, well, I've just been appointed director on the Electric Vehicle Council.
That's all that. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So that really means that I have be able to take more part in the conversation around a lot of the infrastructure around electric mobility. Charging is a big focus for us this year. Really understanding what is being planned to be rolled out. Reliability. What are the things that standards that need to be in place for charging? There are many different providers, and just making sure that there are standards around that, and what needs to be put in place to make it easier for people to make that shift to electric mobility.
Yep, certainly, that's very exciting coming into 2022 and beyond. Let's talk about the future of Polestar now. Let's dream a little bit, and I'm seeing pictures of the Polestar 3. I'm not sure if it's a prototype yet or it's in the production phase, but that's an SUV, I believe.
Correct, a large SUV.
Large SUV, yep. And we know how popular SUVs are in Australia. When can we expect that in the country, in Australia?
At this point in time, 2023.
Okay.
And you'll see the plan is for a new model to come out every year thereafter.
Okay, good. That's not too far away then. Will Polestar cars in the future be released in Australia at the same time as other countries?
We don't know until further down the path.
Yep.
When that's announced. So sometimes the timing might be aligned,
Yep.
and sometimes it might be different for different reasons.
Okay.
So we won't know until further down the path. But at the moment, what we do know is 2023 is the current plan.
Okay, good. Watch this space. Yeah. And I guess finally, does Polestar have a battery repurposing program?
Yes, we have partnerships that we have in place in Australia, and also we're working with partnerships globally. And you have the Battery and Stewardship Council that we're working with industry on as well, to make sure that when it comes to the end of life for our batteries, that we are recycling as much as we can of that battery into other electronic components and what have you.
Okay, fantastic. And finally, what's the best thing about working at Polestar?
Oh, it's such an exciting brand. The team are very innovative. There's always new and exciting things going on all the time. You have the O2,
Yes.
Precept O2, we have the design competitions, and there are just so many. They're always tinkering with something, always doing something. It's very, very exciting brand, and I really believe in the sustainability. So I feel very proud. I feel proud talking to my children that I work for a company that is really doing something about the environment, and it's exciting at the same time. I think it's got the whole package.
Yep, fantastic. Well, Samantha, I just want to thank you once again for your time, and again for inviting me to this event. And congratulations for all you're doing at Polestar, and I wish you the very best moving
Great.
forward.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, unfortunately, we are coming to the end of our journey here at the Polestar Media Day. But yeah, it's been it's been fantastic that I've been given this opportunity to test drive the different variants of the Polestar 2, and just been given an opportunity to interview the managing director of Polestar, Samantha Johnson. So many thanks again to Polestar 2, in particular Samantha, and also Larissa Mirabelli, PR and Communications Manager here at Polestar. It's been a wonderful day, and I really hope you've enjoyed this as well. As I said, I'm going to have a longer loan of this vehicle very soon. All right, everyone, that's it from me. We're just coming up to the hotel now, so thanks for watching, and I shall see you at the next Ludicrous Feed video. As always, happy charging.